Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. This past week, really about week and a half, just have not been able to get out here and really work on any projects in the shop. Been out here working, but it's not been on actual projects. We've been working on the shop itself. And I've had a little bit of help. Miles McDonald, college kids home from school. This whole coronavirus lockdowns got him stuck at home, and I have been taking advantage of him, putting him to work, and he's been making a little bit extra cash. And I've been making hay while the sun is shining by working that boy and working him hard. But we have been doing a lot of work in the shop, to the shop, making some improvements out here. Now, part of the deal is and I'm going to be talking about this a little bit later on in the video, but I've got a new piece of machinery coming to the shop soon. And the way I had the shop configured, I really didn't have a place to put the machine I've got coming. And because of that, I really needed to do a total rearrangement of my tools. I also wanted to do this because quite honestly, things were just starting to kind of pile up around here, get kind of junky. It was time for a good shop cleaning and reorganization and getting stuff kind of where it needs to be. So we have been out here working quite hard. We've been moving machines around in the shop. We've been cleaning stuff up. We've been moving things around, going through things, sorting through things, and really kind of getting the shop back into shape. So didn't get a chance to really do much work on a project, but I thought you guys would enjoy seeing what we've done to the shop so far. It's still a work in progress, but we are making good progress. And the good news is I'm now back to where I can really get back out here and work on some more projects while we continue to do some improvements around here. Let's take you on a little tour around the shop. So first off is this kind of area in here. This has really kind of been my main, I guess you would say, machine shop area for quite some time, where most of my machine tools have been. But we've done a little bit of rearranging and doing things a little bit different. So if you remember, I had my green Monarch. This is my Monarch Model K 16-inch metal lathe. It was up against the wall. I've kind of moved it over here. My big 28-inch Monarch lathe is behind this. I did not move that. I'm pretty much happy where that is at. It's in a good location. But I have moved this lathe here. Now, before I had my Revette lathe here. This is my little tool room lathe. I've now got it moved over here behind me. My milling machines have moved to a completely new area in the shop. And basically what I've got here is just kind of a lathe area. This is where I have all my lathes at. Also, my Monarch 10EE. This machine here, some of you guys, again, been around for a while. You know that I'm aware that I have this machine. It is a restoration project. It is not currently functional. It's pretty much a basket case. It's going to be a complete tear down and rebuild. I get asked all the time, hey, what are you going to do with that Monarch? This, guys, it's on the list. Honestly, when I got my Revette lathe here, tool room lathe, very similar capabilities and capacities and everything, the Monarch kind of moved down a notch or two on that list when that happened, just because this machine right here can do pretty much anything the Monarch can do. But I do still want to do a complete tear down restoration, regrinding, rescraping, everything on this machine. And I can't tell you when I'm going to start on that. It is on the list, and I hope to get going on it before too terribly much longer, but there are a couple of things that we're going to do before we start on that. Also, you'll notice the radial drill. I have moved it from where it used to be kind of in the center aisle, and it's kind of put back here in this new home as well. I really kind of liked it over there where it was at because it was accessible all the way around, but I've got some other plans for that space over there, and it needed to find a new home, so that's where it's going to sit for at least right now. And who knows, we may decide to move it again later on. But I've already got it set there. It is bolted down to the floor. It's ready to go. Surface plate still where it used to be. But anyway, you can kind of see this little aisle here. And again, this is primarily going to be focusing on turning, so it'll be mainly lathe work over here. I've got to get some of my, I've really kind of got this little tool bench back here in the back, and that's already kind of dedicated to lathe related tooling and stuff. So I need to get that a little bit better organized, and I got a little bit of stuff I need to move around over there, but I think it's going to work really nice to kind of have all of my turning stuff in one part of the shop. Let's move on. My next area here is kind of this front area in the shop on the other side from where my bench work is. And in the past, I had my surface grinder kind of back over here in this corner, and I had my welding table and my welders and oxycell and torches and all that kind of stuff, kind of right in this area. I have moved all of my grinding stuff. It's all now in the back shop. I've kind of got a dedicated grinding area, and we're not going to tour that today because it's not ready to be seen yet. It's still kind of a mess back there, the whole back shop is. But we are going to be doing a complete rearrangement stuff back there as well. But I wanted to kind of give you a look at here. Now, you'll notice that in the corner here where I used to have some grinders, I basically moved all my shelving systems down and got that off of the wall a little bit farther up. It is really, in my opinion, I really like this layout a whole lot better because this wall space back here in this corner was previously tied up with machines. Now I got it tied up with storage, and it's opened up a whole lot of wall space down here in the rest of the shop. It's just giving me more freedom to work and move around some stuff. So. And actually the way I've got this, I turn my bench 90 degrees. That leaves me some more open area out here right inside the main door. And this is often where I'll bring stuff in that I'm working on, and just kind of gives me some nice floor space here to work on larger projects. So still got some organizing and moving around to do some in here. I went through as we were moving all the stuff off the shelves, did a good clean out, kind of got rid of stuff that needed to be gotten rid of. I've got a big pile of some stuff I'm going to be disposing of as far as trying to sell. Just the stuff that's duplicates or things that I'm just never going to use them. They're just taking up space. So I'm going to be getting all that stuff organized and try to liquidate some of that. A few of those items, not a whole lot, but there's a few things here we're going to try to get rid of. So just trying to open up my storage space. And again, I've still got work to do back here, but I kind of wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. So kind of right here, just kind of next to my welding area, I guess you call it, that area we were just in the center, you see the center post here behind me. Around that post, I've kind of put my milling machines, and now I've got a really more dedicated milling area in the shop. Again, I've moved, I used to have my milling machines over kind of where my lathes are all now, and I really kind of like this idea of having these in some separate areas. I got a little more room to get around these machines than I used to, which makes working on projects a lot easier. A whole lot easier. You really can't see it in the video, but this wall back here behind me, I've got some plans for that. I'm gonna probably put some bench space and some cabinets in here, some shelves. Again, some more storage area. It won't be sticking out from the wall very far, but again, give me more areas for storing tools and tooling and nuts, bolts, whatever. So that's kind of planning to go on this wall behind me. Kind of down the center aisle of the shop, and again, my big 28-inch Monarch lathe. This has not moved. It's still kind of sitting here. Guys, this is going to be my next project when I finish the metal planer. The plan is to finally get this machine where I can get it up and going and using it. I've actually had some needs for this bigger machine recently and haven't had it where I can use it. We've started some work on this, mostly cosmetic. I had a guy that was helping me out one time, and he came in here and stripped most of the paint off of this and at least got it repainted. But the actual restoration work, the true restoration work, the rebuilding work, hasn't really even begun on this machine. So I got quite a bit of work to do this, but that is going to kind of be the next big project in my book once I get through with the metal planer, which we're working on pretty hard, as hard as we can go right now. Now, the biggest reason that I started on this whole shop rearrangement is this area right here where I'm standing right now. So my radial drill used to sit right here. Before we started restoring the metal planer, it was just kind of sitting back here. This was never really where I wanted it to be, but it was just kind of sitting back here. But I've got this whole bay more or less open. Yes, I've got some junk piled up in here right now that I've still got to get sorted out and put up. But I've got a nice big area right here. And all I'm going to say is that right now, I have a plan for something to come right here. and I'm really excited about it. I've got a new machine purchased for the shop. It's down in Florida right now. It was in Louisiana. I've already got it moved. A viewer and a friend helped me get it down to his place in Florida. He was actually going to be doing some hauling anyway and offered to get it down to his place. If it was not for this whole COVID-19 virus situation, I probably would have already gone down and got it. But I'm hoping here sometime in the next month or so that we can get that machine moved up here to Georgia where I'm at and in here in the shop. But I needed a space, fairly large footprint to put that machine, and it's going to sit right here. And you guys are going to have to wait to find out what it is, but I'm excited about it. Another thing that I'm really excited about is just got this into the shop today, and this is something that is kind of unusual and outside of my normal character. You know, normally we're vintage machinery around here. This is a brand spanking new purchase, but I made the decision to just go ahead and buy a nice heavy duty industrial grade air compressor for the shop. I've been using my little Porter cable, little small air compressor over here. I've had it for 20 something years now. It's held up surprisingly well, but it really just does not meet the air demands that I have in the shop anymore, and hasn't for some time. And I've been needing a good air compressor. And I have actually tried a couple of different things to get some older air compressors in here and get them restored and up and running. And I haven't really done a whole lot of videos on it, but I've had 2 different compressors now that I've tried to work on, and I have ran into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock on getting those things up and going, where it was going to cost me more money to get the compressor working than it would be to probably just go buy something new. So I made the decision, and it was a tough decision, but we just went ahead and bought a brand spanking new. This is made by Emax. I did a lot of research and tried to pick out something that was a very good heavy-duty air compressor, something that was made in the USA. This got a nice cast iron compressor head up here. It's a big, heavy-duty, very large capacity. It runs at a fairly slow RPMs compared to a lot of your compressors that you see out there now. 80-gallon tank. It's got a 10 horsepower single-phase motor on it. Because I don't have I have to run the phase converter to get 3-phase power in the shop. I really didn't want to be eating up my horsepower capacity on the 3-phase converter for the air compressor. So we spec'd it out with a single phase, and that way I can run the air compressor without having to run the phase converter. I just felt like that was going to be better all the way around. So this compressor, let me show you some of the specs on it. So just looking here over the plate, I've already told you it's a 10 horsepower single phase motor running this thing. Maximum PSI is 175, which is pretty normal for air compressor this size. One of the big things that I was really wanting to get was something that had it could make a lot of air, and I'm really wanting to be able to run a blasting cabinet and some stuff like that in the shop that uses a lot of air. So this compressor will generate 38 CFM, cubic feet per minute, 38 cubic feet per minute at 175 PSI, 80-gallon tank. So I really feel like this is going to be able to hold up well to something like a blasting cabinet, whereas the little air compressor I got now, I mean, I can run it for 5 minutes, the pressure drops down, I have to wait for the air compressor to build back up before I can run the blasting cabinet, which is why I haven't been using a blasting cabinet. I've got one that's out at the museum, and we're going to be getting one set up here. Actually, I've got a new blasting cabinet, old one that I'm rebuilding, but we're going to get one set up here, a larger one to use in the shop, but I've been waiting to get this in here. Game plan on mounting this is I'm going to probably put it outside the shop, although I'm going to pour me a little small slab out there and have a little enclosed area around it, so it won't be out in the weather per se, but I won't have it inside the shop either. This is one of the things that really kind of made me lean toward this is a very quiet air compressor compared to most of them. It actually has a big unit here on the back, which is supposed to really cut down on the noise. It's kind of for better or maybe not the correct terminology, it's kind of like a big muffler system for the actual air going through, and that's supposed to really cut down the noise and make this thing just really quiet compared to most air compressors. And with me filming inside the shop all the time, I really don't want to have to deal with having to hear the air compressor cutting on. That's another reason I want to have it outside the shop. It's just from a noise standpoint and shooting videos and so forth like that. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I'm sure you'll be able to hear it in here, but hopefully it won't be too distracting while we're doing videos and working in the shop. My plan is once we get that in, I'm going to do a plumbing job. We're going to make a loop completely around the shop, probably with some galvanized pipe, iron pipe. I just like that over a lot of the plastic stuff that's out there right now. I know a lot of people are running the plastic lines, and honestly, one of the big reasons I don't want to run the plastic stuff is I've got this shop that kind of has an old look to it, and I really just don't want to run a blue plastic pipe through here. I just like the look of the old iron pipe. And plus, I think that's really, in the long run, it's going to be a much better solution. I got some game plans on how I'm going to be doing that. I've been talking with Stan Zinkowski over at Barzy Industrial that actually installs commercial air systems, and he's been kind of helping me figure up a good game plan on how to get all this stuff set up. So anyway, really excited about the new air compressor. This is going to be a game changer for me here in the shop, something I've been needing for a long time. And yeah, it hurt the pocketbook to spend the money on this, but I've actually been saving up for it for quite a while now, and I'm glad to finally have it in the shop. I think it's going to be a major investment long term, giving me a lot more options to do some things out here that I have not been able to do in the past. Well, there you go. That's kind of just a quick tour around the improvements that we've done in here, rearranging. I wanted you guys to just take a quick look at that. And it's a big reason why I don't have a whole lot of machining content or no machining content to put up this week. Good news is that now I've kind of got the shop where I can get back in here and work on some stuff. I am still doing a bunch of work in the back shop as far as doing some rearranging back here, doing some organizing, doing some very similar stuff like we're doing up here in the front shop. That is still a work in progress. I will bring you guys and let you see that once we get that a little bit farther along. The metal planer, of course, is in the back shop. We're still working on that, or will be working on that. I haven't done anything to it since the last planer video, but that's definitely going to be something we're going to be jumping back onto here, hopefully over the next week or so, and getting that machine finished up. In the back shop, you know, I really when I built my shop, my idea was the back shop was going to be strictly woodworking. Since then, it's kind of turned into about half metalworking and half woodworking. I've really been thinning down some of my more specialized industrial size or grade woodworking machinery, and really just kind of going back to the basics. I'm still going to be able to do pretty much any woodworking I want to, but things like a dedicated mortising machine and tenoning machine and things like that, I've been cleaning that stuff out of the shop. I've been selling some of that equipment really to kind of give me more room. I mentioned earlier, we've moved all of our grinding stuff into this back shop, and I'm going to be I got a lot of work to kind of get that area set up like I wanted to. And also, even though I kind of have this woodworking area in the back shop, it really has never been set up where it's very usable for woodworking. And I've got some woodworking type projects that I need to get done, not only for the shop, but on the honeydew list, which in many ways is more important than the shop, at least if I want to continue living in my house with my wife, which I would prefer. So we're going to have to kind of get that area set up where I can do some stuff back there as well. But anyway, there you go, guys. That's kind of where we're at. Wanted to kind of just let you see what's going on. I know you guys enjoy seeing this kind of stuff. One of the things I'm really paying close attention to is I really like to have things organized. Things had gotten kind of messy in here over the last year or so. Mainly stuff's just been kind of stacking up and piling up. I've been cleaning up, cleaning out, and putting stuff up and getting storage space where I can get things organized again, because that is so, so important to me to be able to go find what I need when I need it. And right now, or at least over the last couple of months, that has not always been very easy for me. So we're trying to get that organization put back in place. Like I kind of had it one time, but we just keep getting bigger and bigger. So that's kind of where we're at. That's going to be a wrap. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon if you want to get some notifications when new videos are posted, because sometimes YouTube doesn't tell you unless you tell them you want to be told. I know that when you subscribe to the channel, you would think you get a notification, but that's not the way YouTube does it. So hit that bell icon if you want to get those notifications, and thumbs up are appreciated, as are comments. And we guys will catch you on the next video.